So, welcome to whoever's watching to MyWatches podcast episode 4. Last one we did was like a month ago, I believe.
More than a month ago.
About a month ago, I can't remember, but yeah, due to current conditions of CMCOs and stuff, and also not to fully blame that, also our laziness or our procrastinations that causes this episode to delay. But yeah, we will try to get as much get it up as much as possible, right? So today I think the topic you want to talk about is watch maintenance, or how to care for watches in general for someone who just got into the hobby, right? So I know, like, for every one of us as well, I know for me at least, the first time when I got my luxury watch, the Speedmaster, and it was terrifying changing straps, terrifying walking to any corridors or alleyways and everything, making sure that my wrist and arms are staying in a certain position to not knock it, right? So what are your advice and everything from there, right? So I think we're going to talk about today, right? Starting off, the first thing, like watch maintenance as in service. Oh yeah, yes, exactly. Wristwatch check, right? So we have a personal cam right here. We're going to talk about watches. I think I started with myself. Just got recent acquisition, the Tudor Black Bay GMT, right? Really love this watch. Just got this less than a week ago. The colors and everything, amazing, right? For the price you pay, which is half of a retail Rolex GMT.
Is that even half? So 1/3 of it.
Yeah. Retail is about half, right? If you can get it retail.
No, it's more than that.
Really more than that.
It's more than that.
Fair enough. Yeah. So really liking it. Yeah. We'll talk about more of this later. Right. Mm-hmm. Next.
I have with me a Stowa Pilot. I just changed the strap to a black leather strap.
I thought it's pronounced as Stova.
Stowa?
Stowa.
Ah, damn, you're uncultured.
Is it German, man?
Stowa.
Is it Sova? Va. I'm not sure. I just assume it's pronounced like that. So if James has his two-door GMT, Seiko Turtle meaning Pepsi without a GMT.
And today I'm wearing the Sub 33 and it's a new leather bracelet that I got, leather strap that I got, sorry.
And today's episode is sponsored by
Epsiode food.
Alright, yeah, so we are having some gin today. It's been a long week, so Friday night, and then we're going to talk about watches, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So first thing, about watch maintenance, the most crucial thing everybody's going to ask, watch service, right? How often should I service my watch? How expensive is it? Do I want to go to the boutique to actually get it serviced by properly, or do I bring it to someone else, third party, right? So what are your thoughts on this?
For me, you need to assess first, is your movement like a more generic movement or an in-house movement? If it's a more generic movement, like readily available parts are readily available outside, so I think you should just go for a third party.
Example, like ETA movements.
ETA movements, or even a Seiko movement, so you can use a third party
like
system.
a Miyota, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it's an in-house movement, you don't want to risk of a third-party watchmaker to take a look at it. It depends on you as well, how confident you are, or how well you know the watchmaker. But for some watches, only the watchmaker itself sells the parts, so they still need to order from that watchmaker. So yeah, I think it's a general rule I follow.
Okay.
I personally haven't even serviced my watch before, to be honest. Like after owning watches, I mean, I guess myself heavy into the hobby is not yet that critical 5-year mark when you service your watches. Even my oldest automatic watch is my Longines Hydro Conquest. So even then I have not serviced it yet, and the timekeeping is still, I would say, probably one of my more accurate watches. So I don't know whether, maybe you guys can comment as well, I don't know whether I should bring it to servicing, but You know, it's been, I mean, I've been wearing it for like at least 7-8 years.
What was the accuracy?
Maybe plus minus less than 5 seconds a day.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess I don't know if it matters, but when I first got it, I didn't wear it that much. I only really started wearing it a lot maybe in the past 2 years or so. So I don't know whether it affects that, right? So
I think that's the thing, right? There's a lot of different comments and different beliefs, right? So we're talking about servicing, how long, what, where, and so on. Some people say that you have to follow strictly the time frame, right? So let's say if people say 5 years, some people say Rolex goes up to 10, and etc., right? But it really there's no right or wrong per se. Go with whatever your dealer tells you, I guess, or you can choose to not follow it as well if you feel that they're trying to rip you off.
Depends on your budget as well.
Yeah,
Your financial capability.
Typically, I personally will not service it until I see some signs of wear, be it the timekeeping and so on, or I feel like when I wind it, it feels very rough, like lubricants are getting dried and so on. That's just personally what I follow. On that note as well, when Han talked about whether him not wearing the watch for so long matters or not, right? Some people believe that you have to wind it or wear it every now and then to ensure the lubricant gets spread evenly. But then again, there's also another bunch of people that says that no, it doesn't make sense. You don't wear it, the same amount of lubricant will be there and you prolong your life. Exactly. Right. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I try to balance it out a little bit. I try to wind it every once in a while. I kind of feel like it's like a car, right? An engine. You don't drive it, you still start it for every now and then and so on. So that's just how I follow.
That's how I treat my watches now as well. The only time that was only because I wasn't that into the hobby at the time. That's why it was left there for a long period of time.
Shaken inside the box.
Yeah, it's just in the box, shaken once in a while. But now I'm happy to say that all my watches I try to be as fair as possible to give the same wrist time to all my beloved watches.
Yeah. So I think that being said, on where and how, there's a lot of places to go, right? If you want to go for a third party, I would probably say go for a reputable one, right? The ones that it's that's very well known, that people goes there and it's popular, it has service history with someone that you know, or in the forum and so on. Right? Don't go cheap on that, unless your watch is cheap as well. Then there's a different story, right? But you typically don't want to risk it, right?
So would you go to an AD or like an independent watchmaker?
Typically, if
depending on the watch, I reckon.
I kind of personally, I kind of view it as like the price of my watch, right? Or how valuable it is. If it's a vintage piece, and it's very valuable vintage piece, I probably will not trust anyone else. I will probably pay, even if I pay double to, let's say if I buy a vintage Rolex, I pay double to go for a Rolex to service it. I'd rather not risk it, because if anything is broken, it's a valuable piece that I can't get it again. Right?
Or you never know, they change your parts too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
They took your
if it's something cheaper, like something like a Seiko or something like that, I probably might just pass it on to a third party, right? Even in the lights of my Speedmaster, I might actually go to a third party for it. I think it's
really. Are you sure?
I wouldn't do that.
Really, I think it's common enough, right? I think it's common enough. Right.
Common for you.
I don't know, but I guess it depends on that. And another thing as well, it's also when you service it and whether your watch still has warranty or not. Typically like car, right? I mean, typically your service will probably goes after your warranty. Definitely. But in any case that you want to service it prior to your 5 years warranty and stuff, that's something to take note of as well, right?
Some people would say that even if there's no issues, they will just go
so
to get it serviced, right?
Yeah, for your ease of mind.
Exactly.
To me, it's like there's no harm servicing earlier. There's only harm servicing later, right? Yeah. The only harm is your damage to your wallet. That's the major thing, right? But do not neglect it as well. Do not say that I can prolong it. It's fine. It's been working past 7 years and so on. it's moving individual mechanical parts over there, right? So you can imagine without lubricant and stuff, it's like raw materials grinding on raw materials, which you probably want to avoid that as much as possible, right? So I think it's a fine balance. If you have the funds for it, by all means go for it, right?
Any actual experience with servicing before?
I think I'm the only one who has an actual experience here. So, because since I bought my Speedmaster used, so I wanted to send it to Omega, to Swatch Group itself. So though it's really expensive. Yeah, it's more than 2,000, I think.
The service?
Just the service, because my watch has stopped working, which I don't know what happened.
It stopped working.
It just stopped working.
So that's what triggered you to service it rather than the fact that you bought it secondhand.
Yeah. So I mean, I also wanted to check
how old was the watch?
1.5 years.
1.5 years and it stopped.
So after 2 years, like 2.5 years, it stopped working.
No, but the age of the watch is not 2 years, right? It's longer than that.
2.5.
No, the age of the watch is like 1.5.
Oh,
You bought it at 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And then 1 year.
Second-hand 1.5
Second
years.
hand.
And then 1 year later it stopped working.
So I thought, did I buy something fake or what?
Okay.
So I sent it to Swatch Group for them to check as well, because if it's fake, they won't accept it.
Yeah.
But accept it, they replace the parts. They gave back the parts to me.
Oh,
The old parts.
Yeah, the old parts. The old part is still with me. So yeah, at least I have a peace of mind now, right?
Yeah.
And I know that everything is like original,
Legit.
Okay, fair enough. I brought my girlfriend's vintage Datejust to service.
Where?
It's I would call it the independent servicer or whatever you want to call it. I went on Laoyat, right? And there's this guy. I think his username is Watch Doctor or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Watch Doctor. I'm not sure.
It's a different one.
It's not KC.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's services.
Then he is quite well known over there. He has serviced a whole bunch of Rolexes and so on, and he only serviced Swiss watches. Okay. You can't bring the Seiko to him. Yeah, so you can look it up. It's Laoyat forum. His thread is quite popular, so we brought it over there. We meet him up at Street Petaling, I think. Street Petaling OUG or somewhere.
So he doesn't have a shop lah.
No,
it's you pass it and then he bring it back.
We pass it there. We met him at a cafe. Discuss what we want to do. Do you want to polish it? Do you not want to polish it? And so on, etc., etc. And it worked out quite well. Right.
How much
we paid like, including polishing, about 2,000, about there.
So the same price that you.
Yeah. How much is your Rolex?
Sorry,
around the same, right?
The Rolex
if you were to bring it to a Rolex.
More expensive because it's servicing, polishing, and change of couple of parts as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it wasn't those parts and stuff, it's actually less. Okay. Right. If it's just matter of lubricating and stuff, and without polishing, it's a lot cheaper. Right. But we did polishing, and polishing the Jubilee bracelet as well is quite hard. So he did that as well, and then he changed 2 parts. Right, 2 quite major parts that he changed as well, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. It's quite some time ago. So far it's okay, and because there is success story, I wasn't too doubtful and everything. There was all success. There are people that with more expensive watches that brought it to him. Right, he seems, and he's this quite interesting story as well. We talk about his love for watches and stuff, and he quit his full-time job to do this. Right. Yeah. So if whoever is this, you happen to listen to it, give me some discount, please.
Watch Doctor.
Yeah, Watch Doctor in the Laoyat forum. Yeah, Laoyat chat and so on. Yeah. So I think that's that, right? So if you want to really go for a third party that has actual service record and reputation from like a proper watch enthusiast, not like from some shop and stuff. They say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, and so on. For all we know, they could be bullshitting you and so on. So I think actual watch enthusiasts that actually has history with them, those will be the place to go. Otherwise, then the AD is probably the next best place. And that's the thing, right? If someone says that they do not have the budget to service their watch and stuff, there's probably something you should have factored in when purchasing the watch, right? You need to factor in. It's like buying a car as well. You can maybe afford a down payment for your BMW, but you need to factor in the twice a year servicing that you have to go through the tire maintenance or whatever.
Though I guess you could also look at it as the price of servicing a watch versus the price of the actual watch. Like for example, my Bambino, which is like also 7 years old,
true.
which is
Might as well buy a new one.
which is running 1 minute late per day. I mean, I don't think there's a reason for me to service that anymore because it will cost as much as buying a new one, which is about 500 ringgit, even if I bring it to an independent watchmaker. So I'm at so I'm probably just going to keep it and wear it.
Fair enough.
And I don't wear it that much anymore anyway. But it's just it's just that funny situation where it will cost just as much to buy a new one than to service it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, so that answered the questions in terms of servicing. But I talk about like what do you care for your watch, right? How do you care for it in terms of do you keep it in a watch box? How often do you wipe it? What do you wipe it with? Like microfiber cloth and stuff. And do you believe in polishing your watch, right? Yes or no?
Right.
Like in the watch world, it's like it's quite a big no in terms of when people say polish, right? They say that So what were your thoughts on that? How do you typically go about caring for your watch?
I'll probably start first. Like in terms of polishing, most of my watches are pretty new, so I don't think I've reached a stage where I actually have to polish my watch. But even if some of my watches that have some scratches, I mean personally it doesn't bother me that much. So at least at this point in time, I don't think I will polish my watch. But in terms of caring for it, how I usually keep it is I have a watch box, but I also have a winder. So I keep a couple of watches in my winder, and some of my watches are manual wind anyway. So
How many winders do you have?
I have two winders.
Okay.
And in terms of care, I think pretty much. I mean, I'm not like too cautious about my watch. I think the only time I actually wipe it is when I notice there's a lot of smudges or fingerprints. But yeah, it's mostly with a microfiber cloth.
Okay. So we're talking about winders, right? There's a lot of beliefs as well, right? So some people say you shouldn't use a winder because you end up overrunning your watch and so on. And there are different winders as well, right? There's winders that it constantly turns and you can't stop it, and there's winders that give it a slight turn every now and then, every intervals of a couple of minutes and so on. Those are probably the ones that are expensive ones that they say that you just run it to the minimal to keep the time, but do not constantly run it. So I think, to be honest, I don't know what's the answer for that as well. Right?
Yeah, I think this topic, it depends on the winder.
Yeah.
But some winders offer like on certain intervals they will wind and watch on the interval is set. So in terms of like the wear and tear, it won't damage them much. I think it's worth it if you have this perpetual calendars or if you have this GMT, which is a bit difficult to adjust. But I mean, otherwise, if you just place it in a winder which doesn't have intervals in it, I think it will contribute more wear and tear and will bring you to service it earlier. I mean, it's what I think. Because it's a mechanical movement, right? Like if you have a car, you use it often, you need to service it often.
Yep.
And I mean, aside from that, having no winders, like the three of us, it gives us the joy to wind watches. As far as I
The ritual every night.
To bond with your watches.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of makes sense, right? So to me, it's like I think it's very relevant for my latest purchase, where if you guys know the GMT movement does not allow quick adjustments in terms of the date, right? So for that, I started wearing my watch more frequent, and I don't have a winder, so I start wearing my watch at home as well, just to ensure that the time stays there and so on. So I'll probably look into investing on a winder as well, but probably a good one that does it on every specific interval.
But I guess I wonder if it's a myth, right? Like, because there are, as you mentioned earlier on, there are some people who say that if you put it on a winder, it's no different from wearing a watch every day, right?
It won't overwind, but it contributes to the wear and tear. But it won't overwind it.
But if I'm just curious, like if let's say you wear the watch every day, wouldn't it just be the same wear and tear?
Yes.
It is. Okay. So I mean, like there's if you wear it every day, there's no difference. But if you can wear it
Prolong.
less.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's more prolonging the lubrication of the parts,
Yeah.
less wear and tear. I see.
Yeah.
Fair. But it's also kind of the same thing, right? So I guess it's kind of like in between. Like you wear it every day, there's a lot of wear and tear. But if you don't wear it for a long duration of time, there is also gonna be the parts will be as lubricated, and then when you start winding it again, it's gonna.
That's what I can't
Yeah, also
confirm
don't
that.
have experience with that.
Yeah, I don't have experience with that.
I'm
as
just
well.
curious. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's yes and no with that as well. There's people that firmly believes you have to wind it every now and then, and there are people that say there's no such thing. You wind your watch only when you need to wear it.
I suppose it's all down to the quality of the watch then, the parts.
Yeah, so it really depends, right? So I've been doing a lot of research about this as well, right? Because I'm looking to investing in a winder, right, for my GNT. I can't come to a conclusion, right? Even the likes of big brands and stuff, they tell different stories. So I do not know, but with that being said, I'll probably land somewhere in the middle, right? A fine balance into winding every now and then. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Even in the in the Omega Speedmaster manual, it says
Every
it
day.
recommends you to wind it at the same time every day, right? But the reasoning behind it is not explained either. So yeah.
Read the service more.
Yeah. But for me, I guess in terms of watch care, I probably baby my watch a lot more when it's new, and then after that, I would wipe it microfiber, Norwex, like every other day. But I think nowadays, anyway, all my watches are not that new anymore. I don't really have a new watch, so after a certain amount of time, you wear it a lot, and I'm the kind of guy that wears a watch every day. Even at home, when I work from home, most of the time I wear a watch. So after a while, you get those regular wear and tears on the watches, and then from there on, you just treat it like, you just wear it every day. You don't baby it that much anymore. The first time you change your straps, the first few times you might, put cellophane tape so that you don't scratch the lugs. But after the first one or the second one, then you start to think like, fuck it. And then at the same, it's quite a funny feeling because the first scratch on it, you feel so heartbroken.
Definitely.
But after that, by virtue of you not caring as much and you get to wear it more, arguably you get more joy out of it. I mean, at least that's how I look at it. Or maybe people can say that I'm just trying to comfort myself.
On that point, something a question, right? So let's say different kind of scratches, right? If it's scratches on the case versus scratch on the crystal, which would you mind more?
The case.
The case.
The crystal can be swapped.
The
Crystal is cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's way more unlikely for you to scratch your crystal.
That's a light line.
I mean, if it's Hasselblad, you can just polish it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, 20 ringgit.
But on that note, right, I think it's good to explain as well on like, so for example, when changing your particular watch, typically you would, right, you use a tool to push the particular pins right here to adjust your strap. So you push 2 pins here to get it out, and then you put in the new straps available, right? So you have like I believe there's a quick adjustments one for straps.
You also have pinholes. I mean, if you don't have a quick adjustment, you can just poke the pinholes. I think it's
there is
less
So
less risky.
exactly.
Quick adjustment strap,
Not all watches have
where you can just press and lift up the particular strap. That's something that you can do. And right here, pinhole, where you can just put in your particular pin and then push it out and then put out the particular strap, right? So what Harn was saying as well is that what you can typically do, you can put tape right here and tape right here as well. So when you lift it up, when you push the pin and push the particular bracelet up, when it expands, it does not scratch the lugs right here at these 2 particular portion. But then again, I think typically users would just you'll see a bunch of lines right here.
I don't do that anymore.
It's on the underside of your watch anyway, so
Yeah.
I mean, no one will see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see right here, right here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right there.
There's so many scratches there.
Right there, particular like scratches right here, right? So that's what happened when you do not put the tape over there, right? But it's preference. Some people don't care because it's at the back of the watch. Some people value it. it's really up to you what you want to do. We're just providing you our experience or typically how you would do it, right? So invest in a tool, a spring bar tool, or you can get something that has like a chopstick that can you can clip particular ends together, clip it, and move it out. That's possible as well, and yeah, just take it from there.
But I think wiping with a microfiber cloth before you place it back in the case, I think is a must.
It's a must.
I mean, for me, it's
Okay.
a must.
I used to do that.
Like, everything inside the case should be clean.
Okay.
No, fair.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not disciplined enough. But it depends on my mood.
Yeah, get a good cloth. Do not skimp on your microfiber cloth. You do not want to be rubbing something cheap.
What's a good microfiber cloth?
I mean, actual microfiber cloth, but not like
It's
someone
generic.
that says like it's a microfiber cloth, but it's not, and then end up becoming very rough, and then when you wipe it, you end up like creating micro scratches and stuff. But that's gonna fuck your watch up even more, right?
I use a microfiber glove when I change my straps.
Oh shit!
Where you get it from?
On one hand, I got it from Adrian actually.
Oh, okay.
One of my other watch friends. It's a Virgin.
Oh shit! Yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
looking.
Made in Switzerland.
I have no idea what it's made of, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I think one thing to note of as well, if you use your dive watch for swimming in the sea, because sea water is quite salty, right? So you need to make sure you wash it with fresh water
After you die.
after you dive,
Yeah.
because otherwise it'll be sticky.
Fair enough. Alright, so let's on that note, in terms of polishing as well, it really comes down to personal preference, right? Whether you care about your second-hand value as well or not, it really depends. Typically, if you look at Rolex, if you do polish it, watch enthusiasts will probably not value it as much as unpolished, despite it looking worse than it is, right? So people believe that the more you polish, the more materials you are shaving off and stuff like that. But then again, if you really like the look of a shiny watch, and if you don't mind it, you don't plan on selling it, just polish it, go for it, right? Especially the lights of like does Explorer has the middle shine, the middle polish?
No,
that's
all
not.
matte.
Right, so like the old GMT that has like the middle one, the middle
Polished
gauge.
center links.
Yeah, the center link, right? The poly center links. You're probably gonna get a lot of scratches in that, right? The shinier it is, the more scratches you're gonna get, right? But if you want it, get a shine back, and if you don't mind the value and stuff, polish it. If you want to retain and follow what everybody say, don't polish it. So I can say it's like comes down to your preference on what you want.
Yeah,
to
I
do
guess.
with it.
I guess. Yeah, there's a few school of thoughts about that, and I guess against people who generally don't want to polish it, they most of the time believe in preserving the original look. That every scratch has its own
Character.
quote unquote
Yeah.
story or character. And for me, I guess it makes a lot of sense if it's a watch that you own from start to end. I would definitely wouldn't think of polishing a watch that I own from day one. But if it's an old watch that's a second-hand one that I bought from someone else, maybe, but also unlikely. But yeah, that's what I think the whole debate is about, right? So if it's a watch that you own from the start, then it's like every scratch you can kind of say it's like you've been through it together with the watch, and you want it to show that. I guess that's what people who don't polish it will have to say about that.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about some do's and don'ts, right? I think the first mistakes a lot of people do, it's when they adjust the watch with a date, right? So for example, right now, look at the sub date here, because the dates always goes to 2 cycles, right? The AM and PM and so on. So you never know whether it's the AM and PM cycle, right? So the rule of thumb, always adjust your hands to 6 o'clock first, then adjust the date 1 day before, and then go through the cycle of winding the hour and minute hands all the way into the next date, right? So then you know that you will either cycle it when you pass through 12 o'clock or you cycle it the next round. And the reason why you want to do that is that if you're at, let's say, like 12:1, it's actually in the middle of the process of the date change interval, and if you change it, then you're at the risk of in a way harming the movement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think the general rule is to avoid like, placing the time between 9 to 3. The upper,
The top half.
Top half.
Within 9 to 3.
Yeah, but I got a habit of moving it to 8:20. I don't know why. But it looks more balanced. To 8:20.
But even if it's a top half, but you wind the date to 1 day before.
Yeah, it's still 1 day before.
It's still fine, right?
No.
Because it's
They don't
ready. It's
recommend
already
that
the gears are like
The date mechanism is already like in progress.
Oh, it's in progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that you really want to avoid, and this is, I think it's like a hard rule to follow. I mean, you don't. There's no benefits for you to miss out on this, and it's very crucial.
Apart from a few seconds wasted.
Yes.
Not wasted. I mean, it's to save your watch.
And a couple of do's and don'ts I can think of as well, right? Like dive watch, always make sure that your particular crown is screwed down before diving. Right? It's rated like 200-300 meter water resistance only if the crew is being screwed down.
These are like one of those things that you imagine that will never happen to anyone. but somehow when you go to forums, you see people saying that, hey, my watch is fogging up. What happened? You know, like it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
It sounds stupid to say it out loud, but it happens to people.
But I think this is one point which is a benefit for servicing as well, especially for dive watches, because the rubber seals have their
Gasket.
A rubber gasket have their lifespans as well, right? So you would want to service it if you're actively using it for like extreme sports like diving.
Extreme sport.
Just to make sure that the seals are still there.
Yeah.
Properly.
That's the thing as well. And if you go to an inexperienced watch servicer or watch, what do you call it? I don't know. Yeah, but it's very crucial that they screw in your case back properly as well, because that also impacts your water ratings, right? If they just anyhow just screw it back like that, you might lose your water ratings, right? So that is also one of the reasons why it's very crucial they have the actual tools and machinery in order to do it. Yeah.
I guess worth talking about is also like, for example, when a watch like the Speedmaster is rated at 50 meters. Does that mean that you can dive up to 50 meters? Because I think most people wouldn't even take the Speedmaster to swim for long hours, right?
I think there's a chart for that.
So how does that work? Actually, you should dial back on the rating. If it's rated at 200 meters for diving, then you dive up to 100 meters. Like, how does that work?
From what I know, I mean, I haven't proven anything. From what I read, 30 meters is good for like hand washing. 50 or
so it's just water resistant.
water resistant. 50 meters means it's good for like showering, swimming in the swimming pool.
I wouldn't even want to swim with my Speedmaster.
Would you swim with your Speedmaster?
No. 100 meters. Yeah, a bit deeper than that.
To me, 100 meters is the swimming pool one.
But 100 meters.
Maybe 100 meters is swimming pool.
Yeah, but it's quite funny to say.
Maybe 50 meters is bathtub.
Yeah, but it's quite funny to say because 100 meters is what people dive, like actually dive at, right?
It's kind of
people dive 100 meters.
Maximum is like 30, 40.
I don't think that 100 meters is safe enough.
But that's the thing as well. It's water resistance on how far. It also depends on the pressure, right? How well it handles the pressure as well. That's why like the Sea Dweller has the pressure valves and stuff like that. Water and pressure is different thing as well.
That's why like some of the watch like the Seamaster, there's the helium valve, the Pelagos, and the helium.
Exactly. That's why. So yeah, let's talk more about this like do's and don'ts and stuff. There's a couple of things that I heard as well. They say do not wind or adjust your watch while it's on your wrist, right? because the reason why they say you do that, you're putting pressure. You're putting pressure on the
crown.
the stamp.
Ah,
Stamp
right.
inside, right? So when you lift it up like that, it's actually, imagine a straight piece, you're actually pushing it up like that, right? So
Actually, that's one of the first things that Rene taught me about the Speedmaster as well. When you wind the watch, and this is like Speedmaster, which is the kind of watch that you wind every day. You want to hold the part where the crown in a way that you hold the up and bottom part in an even distribution of force. So you just wind it like that. So you hold it firmly, up and bottom, same amount of force. So that you don't, if you just wind it like, for example, like that, then you're constantly pushing upwards against the crown. And then you, over time, if you do this every day for 365 days a year, you might end up damaging the watch. So you hold it firmly.
Fair enough.
You want to try it?
And that's one of the. Luckily, I met Rene before.
I'm actually sure there's a course.
Yeah, because actually, when you wind it like this, you can wind it very fast. And you wind it like this, it's slow, but you do it the right way.
Makes sense.
How do you wind it?
Last time you wind it like that, right?
No, like that.
Last time I wind it like that.
Oh, really? I wind it regularly.
Same.
No, I mean like you hold it.
Yeah, I hold it properly. Yeah, I always
like
wind
a
it.
normal human being.
Yeah, I don't know. To me that's natural. So I never thought of doing anything else. And in fact, I find that the Speedmaster crown is very hard to wind.
It is.
The crown guard is short. Yeah.
Which is why he does that.
Oh.
Because it's faster.
Fair enough. Okay, so
His time is precious.
fair enough.
More precious than the watch.
And the couple of things I heard as well, it's minimize direct sunlight, right?
Wow.
Right, minimize.
Why?
Right?
Why?
So it says that your exactly your dial will fade and stuff.
But I want potato.
And apparently it's like heat will damage, too much heat will damage the movements as well, something like that. Which that's what I heard basically. But to me, I just
Really?
I just wear my watch how it is right. I don't think you would. There's no specific cases where you would go about and do this.
But I guess it's kind of like in moderation, right? Like you could say the same. Like you don't want to expose your watch like too long in super cold weather, right? So I guess
fair enough.
as long as you don't bring your watch to a sauna, you should be good, I suppose.
Watches don't have like heat ratings, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Something you find.
Vitamin D over there.
Yeah, and anything you guys heard of and everything, because I think like the internet is just currently filled with like a whole bunch of different stuff and so on. Right there, there's magnets, right?
Yeah,
they say
magnets.
I think that's all we are.
That's scientific.
That's scientific.
Try to avoid close contact with magnets. Your iPhone 12, for example. Right. When iPhone 12 released, I'm not sure if you guys see the UWC forum.
Yeah.
It's like, oh guys, are you guys buying the new iPhone 12? Is this okay for such watch enthusiasts like us and stuff? Will it damage our watch and stuff? So, same thing as well. Some people believe that unless you are actually working in some factory or something, it shouldn't affect it. But some people believe that no matter how small or big the magnet is, through over time, it creates an impact, right? So I'm not sure about this as well.
But that's the thing. I'm curious, like because there are some watches like
Milligrams.
yeah, like that it can withstand like I don't know what's the 15,000, 50,000 gauss, and apparently 50,000 is like industrial level of magnet already. So I'm just curious, like if it's like very small amount of magnet. I mean, I'm pretty sure we go through our lives for sure. Yeah. Would it? But what happens when your watch become magnetized? That's where less accurate.
Yeah, it
runs faster.
Or slower.
Yeah.
So it's not a big thing. It's not like your watch is spoiled. You just need to get it demagnetized, right? That's essentially it. But try to avoid it as much as possible, I guess. But aside from that, it's not super big deal. Yeah, that's what I say. There's lots of things that people believes in, and people believe it goes both ways, lah.
Yeah.
I think I heard of a saying that for automatic watches you can overwind it by manual winding it.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
it's.
try
I don't
not
think
to
it's
do
true.
that. I don't know. But personally, like for example, my BB58,
Yep.
when I wind it, it winds different when the power reserve is full, and I can hear the sound is different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like more resistant?
Yeah. Well, more resistance is one thing, but there's a different sound to it. Like when you wind
It's
it,
not so smooth anymore.
yeah, it's not.
Placebo.
There's-
How can you even reach that point? How can you wind until it's full?
No, I can.
Why would you
so,
reach-
so
why
for
would you reach that
example,
point?
so for example, like if I wear my BB58, but I don't wear it for one day, but then I want to wind it to full again because I know I'm not.
Oh, you want to wind it to full?
Yeah, because I know that.
Start.
Yeah, so for example, I know that I won't wear it for the next 3 days, but I want to wear it on the third day, right? So I will wind it again. So when I wind it, when it reaches full, there's actually a different sound to it. So I don't know whether there's a.
But on that note, it's quite interesting because I have a manual wind, and this one.
This is when it stops, right?
It's a-
manual one is
yeah,
not.
right.
There
Yeah.
is an indicator that okay, this is
Yeah.
full power reserve, which is actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
But what Rolex and Tudor recommends is that when you want to wind it, you wind it 20 times and wear it. That's
Yeah,
why
I've heard of that as well.
Starts, right?
Yeah.
And then it starts.
Which is like 3 times.
Not 3 times.
One,
It's more than 3 times. Then
3.
No, it will start.
It starts pretty fast.
Yeah, but
It
then,
starts pretty fast,
you want to ensure you have
Yeah,
sufficient.
enough.
So
without
that's
shaking.
they say it's 20.
It's pretty fast. Like, it's
Yeah, I
like
heard of the 20.
Speedmaster within the third.
Normally one around like 15, 10 to
No way.
No?
Your Speedmaster?
No, I don't know. No, not my Speedmaster. All my automatic watches.
Well, on that note,
quite
right?
fast.
Yeah, I actually one thing that I really like about hand wind movement is the sound. So I'm not sure if you guys actually listen to your watch.
Yeah.
But like my Young Han Max Bill hand wind and my Speedmaster.
They all
Very
sound
different.
When I realized I listen to it, to me it's
It
like
sounds different.
very therapeutic.
Same.
You know?
It's much more stronger clicks.
Yeah, it's like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
to
like
me,
it.
that sound is like I don't know, it's very soothing
Yeah.
for
Correct.
me.
Even
Whereas
like-
automatic, the winds are more smoother actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the sound of the watch ticking itself, like the Speedmaster is really loud.
Yeah.
Some people might find it as a bad thing because I heard people complain before on forums as well. Like, oh my god, why is the Speedmaster so loud? Because when you put it on your bedside table and you go to sleep,
Fair enough.
And
you
the
can hear it. You can hear it.
And my JLC's rotor, when I still had my JLC, I can hear the rotor moving.
Oh.
Yeah, that one I remember. And yeah, but the BB58 is so silent. Like even when you
Yeah.
put it next to your ear, you can't hear it.
Exactly. The
Even
same
the
goes to
wine
my
is very silent.
Yeah, I can't hear mine.
Super
as well.
silent.
But the Speedmaster, you can probably hear it from the bedside
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, that's just probably one of the probably the most stupidest complaint I have with my GMT.
Can't hear it.
I just tried this. That's like I wind my watch just
Wind.
now. Yeah. I look at my GMT. It's like nothing. I mean,
It's
it's
pretty
pretty.
close to here because like
There-
my
there is
TV,
some, there is some.
If you put it
Yeah.
close to here, you can hear. But
But
it's
it's-
like that. No way.
In
Like-
comparison to my Young Han and my my
Alright,
Speedmaster,
it's very big difference.
it's probably like maybe 15 or 20 times softer.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to hear it breathing, right?
Yeah. So to me, I don't know. To me,
So are
just
you alive?
it's
Too silent.
it's probably a very rare thing, but it's just something that I look for. That's why one thing I really like hand wind watches.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Let's move on from this. There's probably going to be a lot of beliefs and things that people follow and so on. I think it really comes down to just do your own research, follow your own experience. If it works for you, and if you choose to follow it, make sure to follow it accordingly, and don't follow it blindly. I think that's all I have to say for that. Right. And then next, right? So, just talking about, I think experience or usage wise, right? What do you think about people that actually like buy the watch and put it in a safe, right? Versus wearing the watch as intended, right? So to me, I personally feel that watches are meant to be worn. If you're keeping your watch in a safe, you are not a watch enthusiast, right? Unless it's like some like $500,000 watch or something like that, right? Watches are meant to be worn. If you want to, there are people that wear it and manage to resell it for profit as well. That's not an issue. I think, at the end of the day, enjoy what you paid for and stuff. But I'm not sure about what you guys think about that.
I definitely don't have a watch in a safe, so I don't get it. But then again, I don't own a very, very expensive watch. I mean, I'm always of the thought that watches are meant to be worn, lah. Like, what's the point if you just admire in the safe once in a while? It's
exactly.
always has to be on the wrist.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's the fun in it because you get to rotate watches.
Yeah, I think the watches kept on a safe. It's more difficult for you to wear it because you need to exert more effort to reach out for it. So probably most of the people who put watches in the safe are more on like
Flippers.
maybe
Yeah,
flippers,
Yeah.
or someone who's planned. Yeah,
Or someone who gets like, would you buy a watch where you just buy it just to admire it? Like, you won't wear it. It's like a vintage watch. Like,
I might actually.
Right.
We're talking about that, right? So we're talking about that particular same conversation just now, right? So, I typically like to wear watches that has good heft in it, right? Solid end links and everything, right? But I also want to eventually own a birth-year Rolex, right? Be it a Datejust or a Submariner, right? However, like, those bracelets are really, really flimsy.
you can switch the bracelet. Or
Maybe
to
Change the bracelet.
and they are all hollow end links, right? At that point in time, it's all hollow end links.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still hesitating. Like, if I buy it, I'll probably just keep it just for the sake of it, right? It just have a birth year Rolex on it. I may or may not wear it. So I think that, I don't know. I haven't had that experience yet, but it does cross my mind.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I wouldn't buy a watch to put in a safe. If I was looking for an investment, I'd probably look for an investment elsewhere. Be it like
condo.
yeah, whatever it is, right? Condo, blue chips, or whatever. I mean, that's just how I think anyway. It's a bit, for me, it's a bit funny to be investing in a watch. But if I buy a watch and I wear it, and if it appreciates over time, then that's great,
Yeah.
right? And I think, I don't think anyone who owns a vintage Rolex today bought a Rolex at the time, knowing that it's going to be like this today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn sure. I mean, I wouldn't say pretty damn sure, but
Yeah, you wouldn't
I'm
keep
guessing.
two watches.
I'm
to
guessing.
make it
I'm
safe,
guessing
right?
it wasn't investment decisions back
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
For the most part, anyway.
Uh-huh.
Like, if they did, then I would say that's like pretty amazing foresight. Like, who knows, right? You can say the same about Bitcoin. If I knew about that, I would have bought it 10 years ago. You know. Yeah. So nobody knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, then again, no offense to those flippers or scalpers that does it. Although I don't like it, and in fact I hate it. But if you do it and you're not doing anything illegal. You're doing that. You're making a profit. You're making a living. Props to you, I guess. But yeah, I think in a way it damages or I would maybe not damages, but it's really limiting the opportunities for actual watch enthusiasts that really want to enjoy the watches for every purchase that they did. But so my opinion is the same as well. What if I buy the watches, I'll wear it as much as I can. I may baby it at the very start.
Should wear your Datejust more.
Yeah, at first when I got my Datejust, I baby it and everything. I wear it not as often, but then you start having a thought, right? It's like the less you wear, the less ROI you get from it because you don't enjoy it. You pay so much, but you worry about damaging it. By the end of the day, you are paying. You can even counter it and say you're paying so much, but you're wearing this little. So what is the point? Yeah, exactly.
Totally agree.
Right, but I mean it's only natural, right? When you get something extravagant, maybe not extravagant is a big word, but yeah, it's something get at that price point. It takes a while to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
But I think end of the day, really as proper watch enthusiasts, eventually you get to the point that you want to wear it and make in a way experience.
I guess for everyone that point is a different point.
Yeah.
For me, it's the first few scratches that but then after that, I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. If I change the strap and then it's like, oh shit, that's the first scratch, and then okay, after that it's like, oh, I guess they're all my beaters now.
Yeah, no matter how expensive it is, right? I'm assuming that your Black Bay will consider be
I've
a
reached
beater as well.
I kind of reached that point. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a beater,
but you wouldn't keep
I
it
wouldn't.
much,
Yeah, maybe when I first got it, I'd be like, okay, I'm only gonna change the strap after I've, if I change the strap to another strap, then maybe I'll say, okay, I need to use this strap for at least 5 months or whatever amount of time that is before I change it, because it's going to risk scratching the lugs. But now, whatever strikes my fancy to change the strap based on where I'm going or the occasion, I'll just do it. And arguably that's a happier version of me than a version of me that is babying it and limiting my options to going out for events that I want to wear my watches, right?
Yeah. Makes sense. Cool. Alright. I think that's pretty much what we want to cover on the particular care and watches and sort of like do's and don'ts, right? So, essentially, long story short, we've been talking about this for like the past 15 minutes and stuff. Essentially, I think if you summarize it, is do whatever the fuck you want to do, right?
It's your
do whatever the fuck you pay for it.
Your money anyway.
If you don't want to service it for 20 years, then
Don't service it. It's your
If you
prerogative.
screw up your Speedmaster, just get
But at a general like consensus or whatever, you can follow what we say based on our experience and what we have learned, and probably our mistakes as well, and hopefully that will be helpful for you.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess maybe one last question for you guys, if you can roll back the clock and tell your former self, or like what tip would you give your former self? Like what do you think that you didn't do properly when you first started out on a hobby?
For me, I think very simple. I think I said this in the first episode as well, if I'm not mistaken. To spend less on like I'll call it sub tier watches, right? And because like at that point when I first got into it, I was very impulsive. I was like, I want a diver. I want this.
But are you only saying that to your former self because you have experienced that sub tier?
Potentially, yeah.
That's kind of like a chicken and egg story.
Yes, exactly. I may not be where I am today if I didn't have that experience. But that's probably the one thing that I can think of. Yeah.
No, I agree. I'll probably have the same thoughts as well. But at the same time, if I didn't get those sub-tier watch, I probably wouldn't have gotten so deep into watch collecting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's all down to it, I guess. And another thing as well. I used to not believe in expensive straps, right, and so on, right. Then again, I think that there are straps that still. Yeah, there are straps that I still believe that are a little bit at the pricey point, but I believe as well that the cheaper ends are probably not worth buying. Right.
I disagree. I'm using a cheap strap. I'm happy.
I think the longevity of it and the quality of it, the comfort of it is depends, right?
But you see, cheaper straps means less longevity, but that means more excuses to buy more cheaper straps.
Maybe
and change.
put it that way. But to me, that's one thing I realized as well. Instead of buying so many quote unquote cheaper strap, I should invest in a better ones, at least the ones that
at least the ones that you want to keep wearing,
keep wearing. It's a nicer quality. It patinas for leather strap, especially. It patinas nicely, and it's the proper right size for my own wrist. It doesn't overlap and everything. So those are like the things that I sort of experienced throughout my journey,
Yeah, for me, I think I mentioned this last time. My Rolex story. I think if you're eyeing for like brands which are like hot, like really hot, like Rolex sports models, if you get an opportunity to buy it at quite a decent price, just go for it.
even if
just go for it. Just make a way for you to get the funds and go for it.
Even if you sell your house.
That's not a good advice. Do what you need to do.
I'm just kidding.
But
I mean, as long as
but that's in hindsight, right?
Huh?
But that's in hindsight, because you know now that the Batman is worth a lot more. Let's say if the Batman wasn't worth a lot more, would you still tell the same to your former self, right? So is it more of a value thing?
I think it's more of a value thing.
Yeah. So. Okay.
How much was it again? You offered the Batman?
Batman
From Adrian, was it?
35. Yeah, Adrian. From Adrian.
Shit. 70 now, right? 70.
65, I think.
Damn, 35. What was the retail? About 30, 34, 33?
Yeah, around there.
And it's on 35.
Yeah.
God damn.
Retail was 33,
To pay for
34,
shit.
Damn, son. Damn. I heard this twice.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was like,
I wasn't in the hobby back then, so I didn't know what the price was.
You didn't even care. I told you I met your friend.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But what's Batman? What the hell is that? Action figure?
Because I wanted to trade my GLC that time, and I don't want to spend.
Yeah, you
my
paid
cash,
more,
right?
You paid like almost that amount for your GLC.
oh well, I mean that's it is what it is, right? I mean we learn from that and so on, but you never know, right? Like the same thing as well. I think I just told this story as well. I regretted not getting the OP39 Rolex OP39 white. It's only been in the market for 2 years, and you never know, right? You always thought that there's always other opportunities to get it. Get other watches first, and then now the entry level Rolex, I can't even get it anymore. Which used to be retail at about like 20, high 20s, and resellers are selling it for 30 right now. And that's like
that's in hindsight, lah.
Yeah.
But,
It is what it is. That goes with the journey of the watch journey, right? But I think the there's always the upside of it, the benefits and stuff like that. We have good friendship that was developed. The podcast was evolved due to us being into watches and basically 4 guys talking about how they waste their money on time. Exactly.
Not waste money. It's worth it.
We have a lot more silly hobbies that we have that we haven't talked about, right? This is just one of them that 4 of us have.
That one, there's one other episode to talk to. Yeah. Okay, maybe I think we are at almost an hour right now, so I think we have one final closing question, right? What is on you guys' list in terms of your upcoming target, your next watches?
For me, it's the Grand Seiko Skyflake, which is it's the snowflake but with the light blue dial. Yeah.
But it's a different size.
It's
41.
It's 41 instead of the
snowflake is 41.
Snowflake's 21, so this is 40 then. Yes.
Okay.
Slightly smaller, and it has a dome sapphire, which I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the damage for that?
Last I checked, with discount 19k.
Oh, is that a spring drive?
19k
spring
ringgit.
Oh, spring drive at 40 mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when are you looking to get it?
Next year.
Next year. Okay, fair enough.
Next year.
Fair enough. Is that what your plan is, like once a year moving forward?
I am hoping to time it with a promotion. So
Okay,
let's see.
sick.
Nice.
Alright. So you'll know when Tim wears the new watch, the new Grand Seiko on his wrist, you know what happens.
Hopefully.
Or not.
Fair enough. Yourself, Rene?
Yeah, no. I think mine is for a longer term savings. Because I really want an AP or an old.
Oh yeah.
But if I get it now, I need to sell all my watches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you just have one.
Just to get it. But
How much is that?
80?
Would that retail or a second
the
hand?
retail will be around maybe 80, but
Okay.
this one is quite popular. So, because I wanted the EP Royal Blue,
Yeah.
which will be around 100
You
something.
mentioned it's
now,
the one
maybe
without the
110,
second hand
120.
style, right?
No, not the jumbo. That's more expensive.
Okay.
This one is normal. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I would
Would you
buy it.
would you consider the AP quartz instead?
No.
The one that UGWC.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
would you wear it though if you get it? I mean, like
I will wear it. I will definitely wear it.
100k on the wrist though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. but yeah, right. I'm still like debating, should I get this or Rolex Daytona, which will be around the same price.
Yeah.
But it will be more durable, cheaper to maintain in the
Fair
long
enough.
run.
Fair enough.
Would you wear Daytona every day though?
Yeah, why not?
You wear Daytona.
I think the Daytona would be, let's say if I'm a robber that has no watch knowledge, I'll probably steal the Daytona first before the AP though.
Yeah,
it'll be more
It's more recognizable,
Yeah,
right?
more recognizable. Yeah.
But it's more a toolish kind of watch.
Yeah,
definitely.
More versatile
Fair enough.
than the EP. So
So white or black dial?
white.
White dial. Sick. Okay.
So this is my target for the next 5 years.
Okay.
So I don't know what I want to buy next.
Yeah.
Okay. I still want to buy like smaller pieces here and there, maybe.
But I thought you won't advise to buy.
I really won't. But then again, there's this watch itch that all of us has, right? So every now and then you have that urge to buy something, you know.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I don't have any as well. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, if you ask me, it's still the same. The long-term goal is a Perfia Submariner, a 36mm Explorer, which is a vintage as well. But yeah, I don't. Nothing really. I guess it's a good thing that nothing really makes me feel like owning a new watch. I'm quite happy with my collection, and I think
That's actually great.
it's my collection is quite a big.
How many
size
watches
now.
do you have again in your collection?
That I regularly wear? 5.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's already once every weekday, and then my weekend watches are my G-Shocks, right? So
Also, that does not include
so
the
I kind of
G-Shocks,
so I kind of already have like a pretty full rotation. So it's hard for me to really justify adding more watches. Yeah.
For myself, I think the ones there's a lot of ones, right?
Yeah.
I always want either a sub or a Batman or now Batgirl directly from an AD if possible. But as days goes by, that dreams start fading away further and further, and I start to realize that the challenge to get it from an AD it's may or may not happen at this point. So I don't know. So that is always a decent dream. I really try not to pay and purchase it from a grey import dealer, right? So I think that's just personally, I just don't want to support it. No offense to those who sell it or those who did it, but personally, it's just not my thing. Ideally, I'll get it from a dealer as much as possible. I'm happy if the Rolex sub will be my last Rolex ever from a dealer, right? If I can get it directly from an AD, that would be perfect. Otherwise, I'm also looking at the next 2 years to either get a Explorer or a Milgauss. Explorer 39, because I think that's going to get discontinued next, right?
Yes.
Yeah, most likely, right? And a Milgauss Z Blue as well, which I also think an update or a discontinuation is going to happen to it. These 2 watches is in my list, and same thing, I would only look at an AD. I mean, look at to purchase it from an AD. Long-term goal, if you're talking about 5-7 years plan, the watches I'm looking at is a Vacheron Constantine overseas in blue. Non-chronoscope.
41mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick release straps.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's quick release straps.
Yeah.
So I guess you're not gonna get it anymore.
But it's a sort of bracelet, what? The one I look at.
I mean, even the bracelet is quick release.
Oh,
Quick
like
release bracelet.
like the Cartier Santos, is it?
Yeah, like this.
It's like the G-Shock.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Oh, let's see. But out of everything, the VCs is probably the easiest one I'm going to get from the dealer.
Yeah. I think it's realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic. To really, frankly speaking, if we talk about that, but I don't know. We'll see. If I can't get the Rolex and everything, then I'll probably just wait long term for the VC.
I think with watches, every few months, if you ask the same question, I think our answers might be different also.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know what new models will be released.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, we'll see when the time comes, and we'll see where we will waste our money on and so on.
And share the experience with you guys.
Definitely share
Like
across
how
the experience.
James is sharing about his.
Yeah.
But he definitely
This purchase was not planned as well. Right?
But he definitely looks happier for it. So
Yeah. So long story short, someone pull out in terms of the.
pull out. Always pull out.
Someone
Never be safe.
declined.
You didn't.
Someone canceled their purchase for the BBGMT, right? And which is coming in a week's time, and my dealer asked me if I want it, and
Make it sound like drugs.
impulsive.
Actually, it's accurate.
Yeah.
Right? My dealer called
Yeah.
me. Hey, do you want it?
You need to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Not anyone can. Yeah, right.
Dealer
Exactly.
gives you the good shit, man.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's how I got the Black Bay GMT, which has always been on my mind, but the size and thickness was always a factor of consideration. But after trying it in person, no regrets so far. It's been an amazing watch, despite it's some slight flaws with it. But yeah,
Give the
yeah,
everyone
it's
home
an
a last look.
amazing watch, amazing look, amazing build quality as well. Right.
I think even if you only have 2 watches, this one is just, I think,
Yeah, it
cover
compensates-
everything.
Exactly.
So
So,
it's
I
asking
think-
to be robbed.
That's one of the good tips as well, right? Do consider Tudor, right? Tudor is not a watch that is just a poor man's Rolex, but it's starting to build its own identity. All of us has owned Tudors before, and some of us still do, and we can attest to that. The quality is really good,
Yeah.
right? We're not sponsored by Tudor, but if Tudor wants to sponsor us, we
Actually,
are.
that's the only
Yeah.
brand that all 4 of us have. owned.
Had before.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Seiko.
And
Do it,
Seiko
do
lah.
it.
Oh, okay lah, Seiko.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Seiko.
Seiko.
Yeah, Seiko.
I mean,
Right.
luxury brand.
Fair
But
enough.
all of you still have Tudors now. I still
Yeah,
don't.
except you. So,
We were waiting for it. Yeah.
he,
salute.
he mentioned the BB58 Blue is up for grabs.
Okay, maybe.
They have the new Tudor Royal Salute as well. The day date and Royal Oak combination one. You remember?
Royal salute.
Yeah.
They did.
It looks it's the day date function,
Oh.
Yeah.
but it has that particular case that looks like a Royal Oak. It has or like the oyster quartz kind of case. Yeah, it's quite interesting. You could check it out. It's coming in like next month or something. Like that.
Oh, you know about it.
Yeah. All right. I think that it's main things that we want to cover for today. I think that's all we have, and same thing as well. I hope you guys enjoy it. For those who watch it, and for those who watch it to the end, same thing as well. If you have any comments or what, feel free to drop in the particular comment or message section, and we will fit it into the next episode. And hopefully, next episode will not be a month away, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. And I think that's all for today. And thank you for your time. All right.
Thank you.